morning, Trojans. Today's date is Thursday, March 26th, and it's an A-Day. I'm Ray Jackson.
And I'm Lauren Genobles. On today's broadcast, we talk about sports and current events. TBC starts now.
I cannot explain catching up to me. I can comprehend making me believe. Got me running circles, can't catch my speed. Catch my speed, you made me.
Yeah, you made it, yeah. Celebrate it, yeah. Celebrate it, yeah.
Today's quote is from Greta Thunberg, a Swedish climate activist. She had this to say, quote, "I have learned that you are never too small to make a difference," unquote.
April 3rd is BSA's Danza e-Diversion event. It starts during advisory and ends at 4 p.m. Join them if you're interested in live music, dancing, food, and games.
Class dodgeball is happening at the lunch in the gym. Juniors versus seniors today, and the winners will play the staff tomorrow.
Here are Luca and Victoria with another episode of The Bench.
And welcome back to The Bench. The round of 32 has ended for both the men's and the women's brackets. On the men's side, 0 perfect brackets remain after Tennessee upset Virginia to break the final bracket. On the women's side, there was one single perfect bracket remaining after the first 2 rounds. If that single bracket gets the first 2 games of the Sweet 16 correct, it'll break the men's record of 49 games correctly predicted set in 2019.
Let's look back to the first round of the tournament and the 2 games I mentioned. First, I predicted the Ohio State versus TCU game. I had TCU winning, and they did, breaking over 60% of brackets in the first game of the tournament. The second game I talked about was Santa Clara versus Kentucky, and it ended up being the best game of the first round. I picked Santa Clara to win, but sadly they didn't after Kentucky hit a half-court shot to send the game to overtime. For the Sweet 16, I'm looking at 2 games, Michigan State versus UConn and Houston versus Illinois. Michigan State and UConn are super evenly matched. Both teams had great records and are playing amazing basketball right now. And Houston versus Illinois is super interesting because it's the best offense in the country versus the best defense in the country. Personally, I have Michigan State and Houston advancing to the Elite 8.
Thanks, guys. Now let's hear the weather from Sonia Genova.
Hey Trojans, here's the weather for next week. Today will be partly cloudy and 78 degrees. There will be light winds all day before a low of 44 degrees at night. Tomorrow will be cloudy and 80 degrees, and Saturday will be mostly sunny and 77. Sunday will be partially cloudy, and you can expect another high of 77 degrees. Next week will be slightly cooler than recent temperatures. Monday will be cloudy with on and off rain in the afternoon, reaching a high of 68. Tuesday will also have light rain with chilly high of 60 degrees, and Wednesday will be 62 degrees and cloudy with periods of rain throughout the day. That's all for now. See you next week.
Thank you, Sonia. Here we are with the sports update.
My name is Kamino Kamura.
My name's Rowan.
We play for varsity baseball.
And we have a game today against Napa at 4:30.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop.
Okay, hi, my name is Frankie LaValle.
I'm Callan Doherty.
We play for girls varsity lacrosse. You should come watch our game tomorrow night at 7.
Against Justin Siena. Hope to see you there.
Make sure to cheer on your fellow Trojans. Now we have an informational segment from Bennett Moore.
As many of you know, conflict has broken out in the Middle East, stemming from the U.S.-Israel conflict with Iran. The war began on February 28, 2026, when the United States and Israel launched coordinated airstrikes on Iranian military and nuclear facilities, in an operation intended to weaken Iran's missile programs and stop from what both countries described as a growing threat. This also included the preemptive attack on an Iranian compound in which Iranian higher-ups were meeting. This attack killed several senior leaders, including the country's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. The Iranian response consisted of numerous attacks in the first weeks of March. Drone and missile strikes in the UAE targeting Rawali's industrial complex, the Dubai airport, and areas near the Burj Al Arab. Drone attacks on residential buildings in Bahrain, attacks on various air bases and oil facilities in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, in Jordan, Iraq, Bahrain, Oman, and of course, Israel. The conflict has spread more than 3,000 miles, stretching from the EU nation of Cyprus and recently beyond that 3,000-mile mark into Sri Lanka. To put that into perspective, the length of the affected countries is now wider than the United States. But now, the effect is not just abroad, but domestic. This will affect you. Along with the immense stretch of affected territory, one of the most important shipping waterways, the Strait of Hormuz, has been shut down as it is being controlled by Iran. 20% of global oil passes through this corridor. The restriction of this passage is raising gas prices globally, which we've already seen here in town. Various fertilizers and medicinals also travel through this passage. On top of this, in just 13 days, airfare prices have already risen 9%, according to the Washington Post. This is due to surging fuel costs, as well as one of the most crucial flight paths being shut down due to the restriction of airspace by war-affected countries. The longer this conflict is prolonged, the higher the cost of oil and airfare may get. Unfortunately, when governments mingle in foreign affairs, the implications never simply stay foreign.
Thanks, Bennett. Here are the clubs for today.
Circle of Friends meets in the Butterfly Garden at lunch.
Community Care Club meets in F1 at lunch.
Environmental Club meets in F13 at lunch.
Generations United meets in C15.
Mental Mindfulness meets in C11.
Open Hands Club meets in C17.
Politics 101 meets in E4.
And Tutoring Club meets in F9 after school.
Today is Miss Orpiza's birthday. If you see her around campus, make sure to wish her a happy one.
That's it for today's show. I'm Lauren Genobles.
And I'm Ray Jackson. And from all of us at TBC, stay safe out there, Trojans, and make it a great day!
I cannot explain catching up to me. I can comprehend making me believe